Dropshipping is a long-term way to run a business that relies on volume to make up for low margins. This hands-off way of running a business has worked for merchants in many different fields. People are also always looking for new ways to dropship. Etsy, a popular online shopping site that focuses on handmade or one-of-a-kind items, can help. There are a lot of sellers who want to start dropshipping businesses and use Etsy as their main sales channel. Etsy is a great place to start a business and reach a certain type of customer, but it might not be the best place for dropshipping. Welcome to Cool Cash Cows. I'm Cool Cash Cow Connie, and I want to give huge moo-moo to you for joining our Cool Cash Cow community and making money online with us today. In today's video, we will break down Etsy dropshipping in 2022. But before we get started, go ahead and slap that subscribe button and bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our cool cash cow secrets. Now, let's jump into it. How does dropshipping work? Dropshipping lets you buy directly from suppliers and manufacturers, who then ship orders directly to customers. This gives merchants more time to focus on things like marketing and customer service, instead of warehousing and other logistics problems that come with running a retail business. It's a less risky way to start selling online because you don't have to buy inventory. What is Etsy? Etsy is a type of online marketplace that is run by a third party and gives sellers the opportunity to display things that are either handmade or vintage, in addition to creative materials. Etsy has become a marketplace where sellers of all shapes, sizes, and types may peddle their wares, despite the fact that it began as a venue for independent craftspeople and creators of small batches of items. Etsy boasts over 5 million vendors and over 90 million active buyers at any given time. How dropshipping with Etsy works. To begin, dropshipping on Etsy is nearly impossible due to the platform's stringent policies and restrictions. You will have a difficult time finding any information on their website that expressly forbids dropshipping, even if you explore the site thoroughly. However, there is jargon surrounding analogs, business models, and modes of operation, such as reselling and print on demand, which are both examples of the latter. On Etsy, dropshipping can be accomplished in a variety of different ways. Establish a storefront on Etsy and then contract the manufacturing of your wares out to a third party. This method, much like dropshipping, involves outsourcing the manufacturing process, which frees you from the responsibility of overseeing production. However, you still have to manage order fulfillment. If you choose to proceed in this manner, it is essential that you contract out the manufacturing of the products that you have designed. Etsy stipulates that vendors must participate in the design process in some way. All handcrafted things are manufactured or designed by you, it states in the terms and conditions of the site. You can stock your online store with items purchased from Etsy's marketplace. This strategy entails purchasing goods from sellers on Etsy, followed by reselling those goods on an online store operated under your own brand name. It is important to keep in mind that you cannot purchase things from Etsy and subsequently resell them in your own Etsy shop. If you have your own storefront, you will have more flexibility and commercial autonomy, but you will also be responsible for marketing your store and attracting customers to it. as you will not have Etsy's pre-existing client base to draw on. The rules of dropshipping on Etsy. Etsy does not specifically call out dropshipping anywhere on its website. However, it does post some norms and conditions around other business models that are quite similar to dropshipping. On Etsy, you can only sell handmade items, vintage goods, or items that are specifically designed for craft projects. The seller of an item in the handmade category on Etsy is required to have created and/or developed the item in question. It is strictly banned to resell items. When engaging with producing partners, merchants are required to disclose their affiliation with those partners on product listing pages. It is not allowed for production partners to be either members of an Etsy shop or suppliers from whom the merchant buys ready-made products to resale. It is not allowed for Etsy vendors to use the drop shipping services offered by Ally Express. Items considered vintage must be at least 20 years old. Craft supplies can be purchased from a third-party vendor. These supplies can either be handmade, commercially produced, or vintage in nature. Every listing on Etsy needs to actively advertise and provide some kind of tangible or digital product for sale. Etsy does not permit users to make listings for referral codes, want ads, or other similar activities. Specific activities that are not allowed to be resold include repackaging and rebranding commercial items, curating the handmade goods of others that you did not design or make, selling items made or designed by another seller who is not affiliated with your shop, selling traditional handicrafts or fair trade items that you did not design or make. All of these activities fall under the category of reselling. Therefore, in short, if you want to be able to drop ship on Etsy, you might possibly be able to find workarounds and hacks to do so, but it isn't simple. Etsy is not making any modifications that would simplify the process either, which is really disappointing. Benefits of Etsy dropshipping. There is little competition among dropshippers. Because Etsy makes it so difficult for merchants to use dropshipping, only a small percentage of sellers actually employ this business model. This indicates that there is little rivalry, which provides new dropshippers on Etsy with a simple competitive edge. Businesses that cater to certain markets are warmly welcomed. If you have a concept for a product or a business that specializes in dropshipping and meets the requirements of Etsy, dropshipping that product could be a terrific opportunity for you. Etsy is open to small enterprises who fill a certain niche and can dominate their respective category. Additionally, it classifies businesses into categories, making it simple for customers to find your company while they are searching for or perusing related areas. Products that are either handcrafted or vintage are simpler to sell. Etsy is an online marketplace that is run by third parties and is perfect for selling handcrafted items and antiques. As a result, if you are dropshipping products that belong to one of those categories, it is an easy decision to make because the user base of this platform is very specifically divided. Curated customer bases are more accessible. Etsy users almost always have a certain good or service in mind when they browse the site, and the majority of the time, they are prepared to spend a higher price for it because it is either handmade or vintage and one of a kind. Drawbacks of dropshipping on Etsy. High fees. The cost of dropshipping on Etsy can add up quickly. Your revenues will be quickly eaten away by the marketplace's fees, and those fees are just going to go up from here. Etsy imposes a listing cost of 20 cents every item sold. And if you sell 2 of the same item, you will be charged for the listing fee a total of 4 times. Etsy imposes an additional transaction fee equal to 6.5% of the listed price on top of the costs of shipping and gift wrapping when you make a sale on the platform. There is also a cost of 2.5% associated with global currency conversions. You will be charged $15 per month to use Etsy's pattern to construct a fundamental branded website for your business. Rigid dropshipping rules. It is very evident that Etsy is not a supporter of dropshipping, and the company does not embrace the business model with open arms on its site. As a consequence of this, Etsy does not offer any functions or solutions that are expressly geared at assisting merchants with dropshipping, and it's highly unlikely that we'll see them anytime soon. No wholesaling option. When Etsy discontinued its wholesale business, the e-commerce platform took another step away from dropshipping. The wholesale program that made it easier to dropship on Etsy has been discontinued because the company wants to encourage merchants to take a hands-on participation in the product development and production processes. Time-consuming listing process. When compared to professional e-commerce site builders like Shopify, the process of listing products on Etsy is more difficult. Since Etsy does not provide the option to upload items in bulk, you will need to list each item individually. Some retailers also note that there are delays from the time their listing is published and when it first appears in search results once it has been indexed. Low scalability. Because of the nature of the products that are sold on Etsy, it is unlikely that these products be mass-produced at high rates. Your Etsy sellers probably aren't able to produce as many goods as rapidly as huge manufacturers can, since the items they sell have to be carefully planned, created, and/or sourced. When it comes to vintage and antique things, inventories tend to be limited because of the nature of the products themselves. Your ability to expand your firm and generate further sales will be hindered as a result of this. How to drop ship products from Etsy. Remember that there are 2 ways to get past Etsy's drop shipping policies. Establish a storefront on Etsy, and then contract the manufacturing of your wares out to a third party. You can stock your online store with items purchased from Etsy's marketplace. You can, however, work directly with a couple of certified Etsy drop shipping partners to help streamline the process and carry it out from your Etsy storefront. These partners are as follows. Printify is an integration that enables merchants to offer drop-shipped print-on-demand products, displaying the merchant's designs. These products can be created using the merchant's own designs. Art of Wear is a drop-shipping partner that specializes in the production of print-on-demand goods and offers a variety of personalization choices for stickers and labels. AutoDS is a program that helps merchants find things on Etsy that they can then sell through their own branded Shopify stores. How to drop ship from Etsy to Shopify. The process of drop shipping from Etsy to Shopify might be complicated as two. On the other hand, you can combine the two by utilizing one of the many apps that are currently available. It will be difficult for you to locate an integration that enables seamless drop shipping from Etsy to your Shopify site because these integrations focus mostly on synchronizing inventory data across both channels in order to improve accuracy and operations. Building your own website and doing drop shipping directly through Shopify is a much simpler option. Drop shipping from AliExpress to Etsy. It is not possible for merchants to drop ship items purchased from AliExpress to sell on their Etsy storefronts. Etsy mandates that every item be handcrafted, have a one-of-a-kind design, or be an antique or vintage find. However, the sellers on AliExpress do not offer things that satisfy these requirements. Instead, they are created in big quantities, most frequently in a factory or other type of manufacturing facility. Drop shipping from Etsy to eBay. Although drop shipping from Etsy to eBay is not technically possible, there is a way around this limitation that you can apply. To do this, you will need to source things from Etsy sellers so that you may sell them through your own eBay account. To reiterate, technically speaking, this is not drop shipping because you are still responsible for handling the merchandise and sending it to the consumer. Drop shipping from Amazon to Etsy. Etsy does not allow drop shipping from Amazon, much like AliExpress does not allow drop shipping. The majority of items sold on Amazon are also manufactured in large quantities, and their quality does not compare to that of the handmade, vintage, or handcrafted objects that Etsy strives to preserve on its site. For more cool cash cow inside secrets, click the first link in the description below or click the video on the screen now.